by 5. The Arkansas field goal percentage second half, they've made only 3 of 15. O's, meanwhile, already has a double-double for Arizona. There's Williamson missing, and O's fighting for the rebound. Last touch by Arkansas. We talk about field goal percentage second half for Arkansas because they really lit it up in the tournament so far coming in here in the second half.
Yes, they really have. And now you've got a calculated move. Beck is back in the ball game with 4 fouls. Nolan Richardson sensing the same thing we are, is right now that this game can be had by either club, and he can't afford to keep him down much longer.
Reed, no foul call. Ball partially deflected.
Robinson got a piece of it while it was in the hand. And it looks like Nolan Richardson also said, in addition to putting Beck in the game, let's go inside to Williamson and Robinson.
Tough shot, but Robinson with 2 people all over him. Block at one end, basket at the other.
I think we're going to see the ball pounded inside by Arkansas now. And I'm surprised they don't get the ball to Reeves and make Beck guard him a little bit with the 4 fouls on him.
Stoudemire, strong up the glass, tipped in, flying through. It was Joseph Blair.
They're having a solid game at both ends of the floor.
Williamson drawing the foul. Will shoot 2.
Jim, the instructions from the bench are clear. Get the ball down inside. Force Arizona to stop our power. And that's what's happening right now. Robinson first, Williamson second. Geary back in the ball game, so Lute Olson, sensing what's happened, goes smaller. Let's see if he's going to press with this lineup. Because the only guy in there with any strength at all is Blair.
Billy, here comes Alex Dillard. We talked about him in the first half. 25-year-old first-year division player. He actually played at Southern Union State Community College in Wadley, Alabama. At age 25, Division I player for the first time. Quite a story.
Yep, averaged 30 a game there. 44 threes. The best he had in any one game was 9. Not quite up to his Arkansas standards, but not bad.
So Williamson knocks 2 of them down. 22 for Corliss.
Yeah, that's a quiet 22. I mean, almost every time he's touched the ball in that low box, he's been able to produce something for the club. I still think it's time to get Reeves the ball against Beck. They're giving Beck a vacation right here. Reeves is being used as a screener.
Stoudemire in the lane. They strip it away. Stoudemire rejected, though, by the big nasty.
He almost bent over backwards to get that shot off. Reeves has not touched it since Beck has come into the game.
Berman, high-arcing shot. Followed up by Williamson. He had missed his last 3 from the field before that one.
Smart play by Williamson as he caught the ball rather than bringing it back down. Saw the defense and put it right back up on the glass.
We're halfway through the second half. 1 point, Arizona lead.
I can't believe they're not getting the ball to Khalid Reeves.
Reeves has not scored in this half. Stoudemire. It was Stoudemire in the first half who couldn't find it until the last shot before the buzzer. Now Reeves scoreless in the second half.
There that ball goes down inside again.
Back, right back, Robinson. And 1.
Well, Nolan Richardson's timeout, Jim, and remember it was a timeout called right as a play looked like it was going to score. A brilliant move on his part to change the strategy offensively to this game, and it has really paid off for him because the ball is going down inside, and Robinson and Williamson are really producing. Nice look by Beck. And notice, since he has come into the game to set the pattern of play for Arkansas, settling the club down, making the moves, they've been so much better off. And that's why I think Arizona has got to play smart here, put the ball in Reeves' hand, and try to foul Beck out of the game.
3-point play ties it at 61.
Here's Reeves. See if he puts the ball on the floor. Make Beck guard him and foul him.
Picks up the shot, draws the foul, but it wasn't on Beck. He'll shoot a couple. Robinson.
See, Corey Beck can, when he puts the ball on the floor, now Beck will not be able to go ahead and aggressively guard him. And you'll watch on the finish of the play, Beck has to pull off. Here you go, one-on-one. He beats him with a dribble. Now watch how Beck will pull away here. He makes a nice block, then he has to pull away. And I think for the next couple of minutes, Reeves should have the ball in his hands.
Reeves at the line for a couple. His high school teammate at Christ the King High School, Derek Phelps, won a national championship last year for North Carolina.
And Jamal Faulkner, the other teammate, of course, played this year at Alabama. So 3 of the guys off that great high school club, all factors in this year's NCAA tournament. But only one has come away with a big prize.
Williamson.
Not one shot has been taken on the perimeter since he called that timeout. Beautiful.
Blair scores as Gary set him up.
What was so nice about that is that the big people expected the pass, so they were in a position to catch it and put it away. Gary's having a great all-around game. You know what?
He doesn't have to score to beat you. They got him with the arm. This might be on Reeves.
It is.
That's going to be for Reeves, his 4th.
Here we see Gary. Look at this. Goes through, passes down underneath, and what made the play is Blair was ready for the catch, didn't anticipate a shot, he anticipated a pass. Reeves picks up a cheap foul defensively, Jim, so now the big advantage that Arizona had, putting the ball in Reeves' hand to penetrate against Beck, goes away because Reeves has to sit down.
Corey Williams comes in for Reeves. Clint McDaniel returns for the Razorbacks. In for Alex Dillard. Beck will shoot 2.
Williams has been a game saver so far for Arizona, coming off the bench. And when the shot deserted Stoudemire in the first half, came up with 5 big points, 2 for 4. Came back in the second half to shoot well again.
Beck wrong on the second one. 3-point Wildcat lead, under 9 to go. Nope.
Oh, they could have gone either way. Corey Beck has got to be careful. Came over to help out.
3rd on McDaniel.
And we're seeing a little instruction here now. Nolan Richardson saying just try to shade him to one side or the other, similar to what Grant Hill did to Glenn Robinson. But Stoudemire is so quick, very difficult to do that.
In the act of shooting, so a couple for Damon. Well, you thought maybe he would really be on target in the second half after that shot going to the locker room, but he's 3 for 19 overall from the field.
Unbelievable. And Arizona in the lead.
And Stoudemire off, Reeves on the bench with 4 fouls.
Williams coming in to pick up some of the scoring slack.
White Stewart checks in for Robinson. Arizona, by the way, a perfect 11 of 11 from the line in this game. Leading by 5.
High box right now, trying to rub off and then punch down inside to Williamson. Here he comes.
Thurman got caught under the cylinder, gets it back. Stewart kept it alive and heads to the line.
Jim, Scotty Thurman got caught on the inside with that dribble, and there were just too many defenders, so he did the wise thing, put it up on the glass soft, assuming that one of his teammates could get a piece of it on the offensive board. So it's almost like an interior pass.
It's a second on O's. Stewart at the line to shoot 2. Stewart has a nickname that seems to be rather fashionable these days in college basketball. They call him Big Dog. Not to be confused with Glenn Robinson, but he can certainly fill it up from the outside, too.
He's not to be confused with a lot of guys when it comes to shooting on the perimeter. I'll tell you, he has one of the sweetest strokes I've seen, and there's another turnover.
Yeah.
And credit Corliss Williamson for keeping the pressure on down on the baseline.
Right back to him on the lob. Good pass. Williamson's on running up the baseline. 2-point game now.
One All-SEC performer to the other on that.
Stoudemire kicks it out. Geary, three-pointer. Williams, long board. Stoudemire's 20th shot of the game. Tipped up once, twice.
O's had a good look at that tap in and couldn't get it to fall. Thurman wide open for a three.
Stewart, here's that shot we talked about. Yes.
Jim, unbelievable range, incredibly sweet, quick shot right off the shoulder.
That basket gives Arkansas the lead back. 68-67, 7 minutes remaining. Steal by Corliss Williamson.
Timeout, Arizona. They were in good control until that fourth foul, that cheap foul on Reeves, turned things around here. I think they need a timeout and probably bring him back in.
They call it against Geary. His third. There is a timeout on the floor. It's a television timeout with Arkansas back in front now by 3.
Nolan Richardson, a lot of credit. Smart play on his part to go ahead and say pound down inside. Now Reeves with 4 fouls. They switch Thurman over to him, and they put Corey Beck, another smart move by Nolan Richardson, over on Geary.
And another turnover.
Williamson out running.
McDaniel open on the wing.
Okay.
Yep. For the basket.
Scotty Thurman really showing some leadership out here.
12 unanswered. Reach in on Stewart. And for Stewart, his 4th. This
Great
is
passing.
Clint, McDaniel, and President Bill Clinton reacting to it. Blair at the line. This is a 1-and-1. Stewart has 4, Beck has 4. Ooh, that just grazed the rim.
Corey Beck seeing McDaniel open, but said, you know, with a 7-point lead, we can get better shots than that. And here's where to get it.
Here's Arizona committing a turnover.
We'll try to finish.
Reeves, boy. Hit in the head. That'll be it for Stewart. That'll be his 5th.
But Robinson can come back in, so that's not as difficult a substitution move for Arkansas as having to take Reeves out was for Arizona. You knew Khalid would take it in there and try to finish it off. Strong player at a guard position. Changed it over from left hand to right. We saw him finish in the first half, one with the left hand, one with the right.
And they have assigned Robinson the spot on the floor that Stewart was manning.
New all-time season scoring high is Reeves this year for Arizona, knocking out Sean Elliott's old record.
Sean Elliott, in fact, right when the tournament seedings and pairings came out, he went down to Tucson. Elliott had led the Wildcats to the '88 Final Four, and he said, the 2 most meaningful things in my life were not being drafted in the NBA or the big contract. They were going to the Final Four in '88 and winning the gold for the World Team in 1986. Told him to savor this chance to go to the Final Four as Thurman hits a floater.
We're seeing his championship play come to the top right now. The All-SEC performer really doing it.
Reeves could be back. They call it, I think, on Thurman.
Well, Corey Beck has dodged 2 bullets since he's come back, Jim. The other one was called on McDaniel, this time on Thurman. And you know, I'm surprised that Scotty didn't raise his hand to try to keep him in there. Corey stays down, and good call. Thurman's the one that grabbed the arm. And Jim, talking about that '86 World Championship, that is something that Lute Olson never got enough credit for. It took a very young team over there, guys like Muggsy Bogues and Sean Elliott, David Robinson, and beat the best in the world. Something now that Dream Team 2 will get a chance to do this August. One of the things Arkansas has been able to do in the second half is silence Geary on the defensive end. You know, the first half, he kind of took over the game with his great defensive play. Haven't heard much from him in the second half.
It was more chaotic for sure. Geary in the first half, and as you said, Thurman now starting to step forward.
And Scotty picking up where he left off the last time he played this club with 28 points.
Look at that dribbling. Reeves. Wow.
And that leaner.
78-72, Arkansas, 4:40 remaining.
How important was that fourth foul on Flint Reeves? When he had to sit down, Arizona was in control of the game.
And that's when Arkansas got its flurry going. Yep. Came back from 5 down. Ooh, the third time that Beck has had to look up anxiously. But this one against Stoudemire.
And the ball rolls to Lute Olson, and he doesn't even want to pick it up. He has dodged bullets, and I believe the defensive position was there. The defender can be moving his feet when he's guarding a man with the ball. If he gets to the spot first, foul on the offense. Beck's lived a charmed life here in the last 4 or 5 minutes.
3 on Stoudemire. 2-2. Double bonus situation. 10 fouls or more. So Arizona might need to foul out Beck. Come back and win this game, Billy.
Well, you know, now you can't be concerned about it because when he's guarding Geary, so he doesn't really have that man-to-man responsibility that he has when he was lined up with Reeves. Maybe too late to try to attack him.
Beat the press rather easily. On the wing, short three-pointer, way short. Arkansas now wants to run it. Lob to the head, Williamson. Hold on a minute, they say. Push off called on Geary.
And there's tremendous concentration on the catch by Corliss Williamson. Ball thrown over his head. Geary, who he knows is a good defender, and he still goes up and catches this ball with 2 hands. Terrific concentration. He knows the first thing to do is to catch it, then worry about the basket later.
2 shots.
Played well enough to be the MVP of the Midwest region. The exception of the guys from Michigan in the low post, Juwan Howard, huh?
Juwan Howard had an outstanding tournament. There's Corliss's father.
Didn't push him around till a very late age, huh? He could handle himself. Jerry Williamson.
Makes 1 of 2. 8-point lead, nearing 4 minutes remaining. Reeves gives it up. Stoudemire. They need this one. 3-pointer. Got it.
Again, that's their game. Dribble penetration with one guard, pop out to the other. And with that explosive ability, they're not out of this game yet. 2-man game. Thurman and Williamson.
Got 3 bodies around Williamson. 12 on the shot clock nearing. There it is.
Beck again, showing leadership.
Inside passing in the paint. Williamson to Robinson.
Nice teamwork, good smart playing. Beck is still aggressive on defense, isn't he? He's not giving up.
Nope. Reeves, 3, long. Arkansas ball. Another television timeout. Corliss Williamson has 27 points.
How many ways to make a collect call do you need? It's too complicated. Time for...
3:10 remaining, and Billy, let's talk about strategy the rest of the way.
Well, Jim, too early for you to be thinking about, if you're Arizona, to take nothing but three-point shots. I think they go back to what got them here, and that's penetration by the guards, and maybe even let Geary, who's being guarded by Beck, be the guy that puts the ball on the floor to try to dish out to Stoudemire and Reeves. Don't have to panic at this point, but Arkansas is playing very smart basketball. That timeout when Nolan Richardson said we're going down inside the rest of the game really turned things around. A great offensive player going against a great defender right here. Herman Geary.
Back underneath. Got it. Over O's.
You notice how they're extending now Arizona. Really spreading the court, flashing the post man in.
Stoudemire corner.
There it is. See, but Geary's the least of the guys you want taking that three.
Stoudemire right back up. 84-77.
That was the 27th three-point shot today for Arizona. They are 5 for 27. They took 31 against Marquette this year. Between these two teams, Arkansas has taken 22 threes and 27 for Arizona. That's a new NCAA tournament record for attempts.
For two teams combined in a game. Arizona under 20% out there.
Final four records, I hope I said.
We've seen Williamson with some good assists here. Under 5 on the shot clock. Daniel. Player tips it out to Reeves. Important possession here for the Wildcats. Oh, jumper. Reeves up with it.
Williamson hustling as usual. Well, he gets up and down the court extremely well.
Reeves, three-pointer. I think he's just tired, really.
He is tired, and he didn't have good balance on that shot. The rest of the way, though, down 7, they have to be thinking 3 all the way, and they're just too tired to chase.
Williamson, O's reaching in.
Arkansas has gone to their spread offense, half-court offense. Too early to do what Arkansas is doing right now. They need to concentrate on their game. There we see Stewart is fouled out.
Timeout, Arizona. With only 1:07 remaining in a 7-point Arkansas lead, trying to play into the championship game Monday night. Billy, and Arkansas has Williamson at the line for a couple.
Well, Jim, what Arkansas has been able to do, and do it brilliantly, is to spread the floor in a half-court offense, which is doing two things. One, it's freeing up a flashing postman, in most cases Williamson. But the other thing that it did, and you said to me, I think very expertly during that timeout, that how quickly the 2 minutes went off the clock from the 3-minute point down here to the 1-minute point, and that's attributable to the smart play by Arkansas to use up that clock and yet still be on the attack.
And a steal, McDaniel. Well, got held up in traffic. Almost pulled it off. Geary in underneath. Oh, dunked it. And a timeout, Arizona. .53 seconds to go. Still a 7-point lead for Arkansas.
What's number 3?
Gotta be.
The Tar Heel
North
State
Carolina.
right in there on them. Barbecue bake-off between these two states. And Jim, the only strategy now left for Arizona. Foul immediately on the inbounds. Hope that they foul a man that will miss, and they have to come down and be looking for 3. They're down 7 points, so they obviously need 3 possessions. So they're going to have to go ahead in the next 53 seconds, commit foul after foul, and just hope that somebody misses. And Arizona sitting out there with Beck, who has dodged bullets from the time he got back onto the court with 4 fouls, is still out there now. He's expertly been able to handle the offense and still play aggressively on defense. Scotty Thurman will be taking that ball out of bounds, and he has been a force offensively along with Williamson.
Only one Arizona timeout remaining. With 8:25 remaining, Arizona led 67-62, and then Arkansas exploded for a 12-0 run. In fact, they've outscored them 24-12 since that 8:25 mark.
And I don't know exactly how that timing coincides with that timeout that Nolan Richardson took and changed the strategy of the game. And that fourth foul that really hurt Arizona. Let's see how quickly they foul. There it is.
Beck will head to the line for a couple.
Got about 0.8 of a second off the clock on that one.
McLean comes off the bench, commits the foul.
And Reeves and Geary will be coming right back in. You'll see Williams and McLean be used as the foulers. Jim, today the backcourt that we all talk so much about and everybody has admired this year, the all Pac-10 backcourt of Reeves and Stoudemire, 11 for 40 on the day.
Unbelievable. Stoudemire over 25%.
Yep. And Arizona, who has not been shooting well from the three-point range in the NCAA tournament in their 4 previous wins, really did not have that going for them today.
One more for Beck.
Still a 3-possession game for Arizona to get back into it. McDaniel forced Stoudemire to shoot the drive inside the 3-point line.
Stoudemire 3. And Arkansas will get it back. Williams jumps in.
I think you have a very difficult time trying to catch up shooting the threes off the dribble without penetrating and kicking back outside. Beck comes to the ball strong. Can't foul.
O's had a big first half. That's his 4th. His 16 points, 12 rebounds. That's all you could really ask of O's today.
O's
good numbers.
Yeah, right. O's and Blair did their share for Arizona to be in a winning situation, without question. Williams off the bench did his share. The backcourt did not come through as would be anticipated.
Got a 2-shot with double bonus the rest of the way.
And you know what happened on that last possession? They allowed about 7 seconds to go off the clock
before they commit
the foul. Got to do it on the inbounds pass.
36 seconds to go. 9-point lead.
So they stay even with that fouling, still in a 3-possession game.
There's off the dribble. Corey Williams again. Down to 6. They were signaling for a timeout. No one saw it.
And they can't get there to foul in time.
Oh, he fouls out with that one.
McDaniel probably should have hit Corliss Williamson, who was wide open under the basket, but because no defender could have got to him in time to foul him. You notice how Williamson always kind of have a passive approach that he has. And yet such a fierce competitor.
O's fouling out. Arizona with 22 seconds to go, down 6. A couple of threes. They need some missed free throws now.
Oh, without question, because they find themselves still stuck now in a 2-possession game, but if he makes one, back in the 3-possession game. Jim, looking at Lute Olson over there, as we mentioned, his 3rd Final Four appearance, a man who took over a program at Arizona that the highest Pac-10 finish ever had been 4th place. He has now won 7 Pac-10 championships
in 9 years.
In 9 years.
And a program that was, I believe, what 4 and 20,
4 and 21,
4 and 21, the
4
year
and 24, excuse me,
before he took over.
Yep.
Much like what Lon Kruger did at Florida, coming in off of 7 and 21.
And he left the program at Iowa the day after he lost to Villanova in the NCAA tournament. Said Dempsey making that move to hire him, and he went out there and has built a remarkable program. But not enough today.
Reeves
trying to draw the foul.
Still went in, but it's ruled out of bounds once it goes over the backboard.
It hit the clock. It hit the clock above the backboard stanchion, and that made it out of bounds.
Stoudemire reaching in. I'll tell you, the Pac-10 in the postseason really struggled, except for this Arizona team. When you consider that in the first round of the NCAAs, Cal, UCLA, Washington State all lost. First round of the NIT, Stanford, Arizona State, and USC. I mean, Arizona carried the banner of the conference all the way to the Final Four.
After having had 2 previous years where they went out early with some outstanding clubs.
It was interesting. The last time Luke took Arizona to the Final Four, they had 3 straight years where they'd lost in the first round. Then they went in '88, and then here they come in after the 2 straight first round knockouts.
So Arizona had, in 15 years, 7 years, they've been knocked out in the first round.
Stoudemire. No foul called.
Blair meant all business on that one. Who went down? That was Corey Beck, who probably can't believe himself that he's still out here playing, having picked up his 4th foul a long, long time ago.
Arizona calls the timeout. 4 seconds to go. We'll be right back. Arkansas heading to Monday night's final, and backstage and really waiting to get out there, not expecting that last timeout, the Duke Blue Devils.
Well, the Blue Devils very much acquainted with this facility and with the Final Four.
They're not
Not
really
very successful here.
No, not successful. 6-4 Duke all time in this building.
As a matter of fact, it was only a matter of weeks ago that they were in this building playing in the semifinal round of the ACC tournament, and Virginia sent them home. And what was interesting about that trip, Mike Krzyzewski, who is so close to his ball club, didn't ride on the bus back to Durham. Guys, let's have a senior meeting, and you can ride on wheels yourself. And some of the seniors say that that was a very interesting trip.
We'll see Duke in a few minutes. Now the final seconds here. Dillard to fire one more. No basket at the end. 9-point margin. The difference. Nolan Richardson will play for the championship Monday night. And we know one person will be coming back. So Arkansas is 1 victory away from what they call hog heaven. They'll play for the title Monday night right back here. When we come back, Pat O'Brien and James Brown as we continue here from Charlotte.
The Razorbacks were razor sharp today, beating Arizona 91-82, and they advance to Monday's game, the championship game, our first team to advance on this Final Four Saturday here in Charlotte, North Carolina. Let's go back down on court now to Jim and Billy.
All right, we're joined by Nolan Richardson and Corliss Williamson. Corliss with 29 points, 13 rebounds. Corliss, you guys trailed by 5 with 8 minutes to go. What turned it around for Arkansas?
I think we just started playing better basketball. We picked up our intensity, and we want to go to the final game, so we just had to pick it up and move our game to another level.
And what do you think about playing for the championship on Monday night? How does that feel for you?
All feels great. You know, like I said before, it's a dream come true to be in the Final Four, and especially get a chance to play in the championship game.
Nolan, how about your comments when you're down 5 with 8:25 remaining? You called a timeout during that span. What did you tell your team?
Well, first of all, you had to get back in the game. I said it all along, that you can talk about all the great guards in the country, but you don't know about what's inside a guy's heart. And that's what most of you guys talk about how they shoot and how they break. But Beck is the kind of kid that knows how to win. When he went back in the game, things changed. And I think that was the biggest lift that we could have in that particular ball game.
Billy, he said that Beck's the player that reminds him the most of himself when he played. And Beck came up big to not even foul out of this game today.
Well, in either case, Jim, I think 2 critical things happened. Corey being able to come back in a game, and not only come back, but be able to stay in a game and use his head. And the other thing, Nolan, I thought you did so well, is you called that timeout and said, guys, for the next couple of minutes, we're going to let this guy touch the ball a few times, and it changed the whole complexion of the game.
Well, I'm glad you recognize that, Billy. I mean, you know, blind man could have saw that we're going to have to put the ball in the hands of the big fella. So I'm really happy and proud that you were able to see that and make that type of adjustment. Thank you very much.
And I know that comes with a little bit of a jab.
Yeah, I guarantee you it does.
All right, how I know it's too early to start looking ahead because you don't even know what you got to do, but what's the plan now for these guys who are getting ready for the game?
Well, we're going to go home and watch some of it. The guys are going to watch a little on TV. I'll watch a little half. And we came here on a mission, and so we're going to go to the next part of it. We got 31 on the jersey, which is our Roger Crawford. If we win, that's 31. Everything seems to be falling into place.
You know, I want to say something. Jim and I both brought that up about Roger. You're in a situation where we talk about the great depth you have, but at one point in the game, you've got Corey on the bench with 4. You got Roger sitting there and can't play. And that changed a little bit about what you could do.
Well, that's true, and that also changed the way we came into the tournament as it got late. I mean, we became whatever kind of team we had to play, our kids adjust and did the things that we work on.
All right, guys, you're one victory away from that mission being completed. Good luck Monday night. Arkansas heading to the championship game. We're going back up to Pat and James.
All right, Jim, we should point out that Billy Packer has never worn glasses, by the way. Our Chevrolet players of the game in a losing effort. Khalid Reeves of Arizona, 20 points, 4 rebounds. And, of course, Corliss Williamson with 29 points, 13 rebounds. And welcoming you back upstairs here, along with James Brown and Coach Rick Pitino. Coach, here's kind of an Easter version of the hog that one of the fans wanted me to pass on to you.
Right? Just what I need to sleep at night. I haven't slept in a month as it was.
What did you make of the game?
I thought it was a great basketball game. Both coaches did a tremendous job, and both teams did an outstanding job. But I really feel that the Arkansas team was as well prepared as any team coming into the...
For a while, and our guys felt they could get it done. But to Arkansas's credit, they turned it on when they had to. Williamson inside is a real man to deal with, and he created a lot of problems for us.
Can you put this year into perspective? You got to the national semifinal.
Well, that wasn't our goal, of course. So, you know, we're going to have a lot of heartbroken kids in there, but the whole thing that we've talked about all year long, no one can criticize you if you play as hard as you can and if you play as a team. And these guys were picked anywhere from 3rd to 5th in the league. So they gave us 100% effort all year long, practice and games. I'm really proud of them.
That's absolutely true. Thank you very much, Coach.
Kevin Costner in the house, sitting in the Duke section there and chatting with some fans. Big basketball event, big sports fan, as a matter of fact. A reminder that Florida and Duke are next. The tip time at 8:15 Eastern time. But first, we'll get the latest from CBS News right after this message. Stay with us.
Hi, any of you guys going to March Madness?
He is.
Then I'm Mr. Krzyzewski.
Coach Krzyzewski?
Yes, I am. Yeah.
I drive a doctor who looks just like him.
So cool. This is great. Keep going. Hey, Billy Packer. Hi. Do you have Prince Albert in a can? Hi. Grant Hill, please. Tell him this is his coach. Is this Jason Kidd? Jason, baby. Hey, forget about the pros. Why don't you transfer over to Duke? Hi. Yeah, I'm calling for Big Dog. I'd like to leave a 5 a.m. No, 4 a.m. wake-up call. Yeah, no, it's okay.
First time in a limo, Coach?
First time without my good pal Bobby Knight.
Think you're going to the Final Four this year, Coach?
Hey, aren't you Coach Krzyzewski?
You mean Krzyzewski? Yes, I am.
Back by popular demand, that one. We thank you for all your nice calls and letters about that one. You know, it's only 150 miles from the Duke campus in Durham to the Charlotte Coliseum, but as Florida prepares to battle Duke, we've actually got a pair of Coach K's, Lon Kruger of the Gators and Mike Krzyzewski of the Blue Devils. Tip time at 8:15 Eastern time, and of course, the winner will play Arkansas for the national championship on Monday night. Meantime, let's break this game down. I just want to throw this out. You know, Mike Krzyzewski's been here 7 out of the last 9 years. Florida's never been here. This loosey-goosey Florida attitude that I'm seeing down there, does that help them?
Well, they're going to have the jitters. It took Barbara Streisand 25 years and $10 million to get over stage fright. It's going to be there without question. But They have to do what Arkansas did. Arkansas early in the game went inside, got some layups, developed their confidence. If they rely on the jump shot, like Damon Stoudemire did early on, they could lose their confidence.
Well, now, that's how Arkansas handled its case of the jitters if they were any in the first game. On the side of Florida, the inside game is really a game by committee, center by committee. What do you expect Florida to do?
Well, DeClerc is a big piece to the Florida puzzle. Because of the great backcourt, he doesn't get enough credit. The thing I'm afraid of most in this game is Andrew DeClerc getting in foul trouble. He's prone to foul too much, and I'm worried about that more than anything else from this Florida basketball team.
And as far as Florida is concerned, you mentioned Andrew DeClerc, a very speedy big guy who likes to get out much like the Arkansas big men.
Right, he'll look to break early and look to get out and outrun some of the opponents to get layups.
All right, let's talk a little bit about Duke. One wrinkle that we can expect to see, there's an awful lot of respect for the guards of Florida and their ability to penetrate by getting to the middle of the floor. Duke will try to fan those guys. You play Florida. Is that a very successful tactic?
Yes, it is. And what Duke will also do is what we did with Travis Ford. We put our point guard on Brian Thompson. They'll probably do that Collins on Thompson, and they'll have Grant Hill guard Brown.
And the reason that Grant Hill will be on Craig Brown is Craig Brown, that is a very streaky shooter. Grant Hill will try to keep him from getting into that groove. The big guys, Dimitri Hill. Again, Duke will try to turn these guys into the middle and receive some help. If, in fact, Dimitri Hill goes and checks Andrew Lang, then Duke will try to exploit the quickness. Is Dimitri Hill quick of foot to go outside of the block?
No, he can't guard him. I think what you're going to see Florida do is every time the ball goes inside, they're going to collapse hard, force Duke to make the outside shot. Duke has the matchup advantage. They have so many situations that they can take advantage of in this game, and Florida does not. I think Florida's going to say, if you're going to beat us, let it be from the outside.
All right, we'll find out what happens.
All right, gentlemen, you know, the Gators basketball program began to grow in stature over the last 2 seasons. Ironically, just as their big man on campus began to shrink. His name is Dimitri Hill, and the weight off his shoulders is now a burden on his opponents.
Well, Dimitri, actually came to us about 3.
A message from your very own local station. See you later.
Waits the winner, the Razorbacks having already defeated Arizona 91-82. Florida and Duke next. And welcome back, everybody, courtside. Jim Nance with you. What we have here is the most dominant college basketball program in the last decade. Duke in its 7th Final Four in 9 years against the Florida program that has never been to the Final Four until today. Let's show you the road to the Final Four for these two schools. First, Duke coming out of St. Petersburg in the Southeast. Texas Southern, Michigan State, 12, 11, 10, and 9-point margins of victory with Purdue, the final victim to get here. Florida won the East, a squeaker over James Madison. This was out of Long Island, and then they beat Pennsylvania. On to the regional final in Miami, UConn in overtime, and beat up on Boston College by 8 to advance here again for the first time ever. All right, Billy Packer, we had in the first game Corliss Williamson, a star player, but Grant Hill certainly one of the real stars of college basketball, and he's been here before.
Well, Jim, when we talked about this tournament getting started, we talked about Donyell Marshall could put a team in his back, Glenn Robinson, and we talked about Grant Hill having that same capacity. He has not failed in that occasion in regard to bringing this team to the Final Four. Driving on the inside, great rebounding, outstanding defensive play, tremendous all-around player. Here's the crossover dribble and finishing off with a dunk. One of the nation's best.
People just now finding out about this Florida backcourt, including Dan Cross. What about him?
All-SEC performer, just a junior, outstanding scorer, and they put the ball in his hands in all the key situations. He has the ability to pull up for the jumper, shoot long range, and when the clock gets down under 10 seconds, expects Florida to clear out with a little 1-4, put it in Cross's hands, and he has been able to deliver all year long. An excellent backcourt performer.
All right, it's Duke and Florida, and the starting lineups are coming up in just a moment.
CBS Sports coverage of the 1994 NCAA Basketball National Semifinal game is sponsored by Chevrolet, the cars and trucks 36 million people depend on every day. Genuine Chevrolet. UPS, now introducing the Worldwide Express on-time guarantee. And by Doritos Tortillas.
What to look for in Game 2.
Now, Jim, inside, I think Parks and Lang going to have to dominate inside, score twice as many points as Hill and DeClerc. On the other hand, Cross and Brown going to have to do that to the Duke guards. And then you have a situation of the 3 C's, somewhere Capel, Collins, and Clark. If Duke is going to prevail, have to have 18 points and keep their turnover level down to 5 or less. And then Grant Hill, the complete package. We talk about, can he put them on their back and carry them? We'll see early.
Time for the starting lineup. Let's send it over to the public address announcer, as always, in the Final Four, Frank Fallon.
Welcome to the Charlotte Coliseum for the NCAA National Semifinal game between the Florida Gators and the Duke Blue Devils. And now let's meet the starting lineup. For Florida at a forward, a 6'10 junior from Clearwater, Florida, number 55, Andrew DeClerc. For Duke at forward, a 6'8 senior from Reston, Virginia, number 33, Grant Hill. For Florida at a forward, a 6'6 sophomore from Atlanta, Georgia, number 3, Brian Thompson. For Duke at forward, a 6'8 senior from Mobile, Alabama, number 21, Antonio Lamb. For Florida at center, a 6'7 sophomore from St. Petersburg, Florida, number 35, Dimitri Hill. For Duke at center, a 6'11 junior from Huntington Beach, California, number 44, Cherokee Parks. For Florida, the guard, a 6'3 junior from Carbondale, number 12, Dan Cross. For Duke at guard, a 6'5 freshman from Fayetteville, North Carolina, number 5, Jeff Capel. For Florida guard, a 6'3 senior from Stoughton, Pennsylvania, number 4, Craig Brown. For Duke at guard, a 6'3 sophomore from Northbrook, Illinois, number 20, Chris Collins. And the coaches for Florida in his 4th season, Lon Kruger. For Duke in his 14th season, Mike Krzyzewski.
So the battle of the Coach K's about to begin. Billy, I think this idea that this is a home court advantage for Duke here in Charlotte, North Carolina, is really overplayed.
It really is, Jim, and as I said, they were here just a few weeks ago to play for the ACC tournament. They won the regular season, but they came in, they struggled against Clemson in their opener, and then they were knocked off by Virginia in the ACC semifinal. So this has not been a place where they dominate.
Find a way. That is the motto that Kruger has sold his team on, and he's giving them that urging one last time. Find a way. Jim Stupin from Cypress, California. David Libby, San Diego, California. Ed Hightower from Alton, Florida. The winner to play Arkansas for the national championship Monday night. Parks back to Collins, and Duke gets underway with Capel.
Let's see the matchup. It looks like it's Brown on Hill.
And DeClerc reaches right in, commits the foul on Parks.
Jim, I thought that matchup would be Thompson to guard Grant Hill. And then maybe it was just a switch. Let's look for that early.
DeClerc and Parks actually went on a recruiting trip to Duke together when they were in high school. DeClerc was told that he was probably 6 or 7 on Duke's list, the likes of Glenn Robinson, Chris Webber, Cherokee Parks, and Mike Krzyzewski's wish list. He says, hey, I can't blame him. One guy's already in the NBA, and probably 3 or 4 other guys who signed with him will be too.
Exactly, and to be 7th on a list with a coach he said was honest to me that they were only going to take 5 meant that somebody had to pull out for him. Cherokee Parks liked the visit, though. He signed as soon as he got back home. He was ready.
Cross. Blocking foul on the baseline against Capel.
Dan Cross, a tremendous penetrator. He's got the body. All SEC performer.
so.
Non-shooting foul, is it? No, they're going to say he wasn't the act of shooting. There's a little confusion.
Well, you know,
Capel
was ready to guard him. We haven't had many foul shots that have had a defender on the foul shooter.
So give him 2 at the line, Dan Cross.
And Jim, one of the most unusual free throw shots that I have seen. The ball spins. You know, you're the golfer. You know the setup should be the same every time. He does the same thing every time, but very unusual. Spins the ball in his hand and releases before it really comes down and sets in his fingertips.
It's still spinning in his hand as he releases it. Gets 1 of 2.
Going inside, trying to play over the top of Dimitri Hill is Cherokee Parks.
Florida surrounding that rebound. Cross driving, firing, Lang with the rebound. Ahead to Hill in the middle.
The big difference in the Duke team this year. Normally, Bobby Hurley would be the guy in the middle, and then Grant Hill could go ahead and be the finisher. This year, he has had to be the guy on the point. Took away a lot of his slashing, finishing ability. Nice move, Hill. No foul call. They strip it away. DeClerc couldn't find the handle. Got to think of where you're throwing that ball. DeClerc has great speed for a man 6'10", terrific defender coming off the great game against Boston College. But he really, that was almost an impossible catch. Willie Mays style over the top of the head. Back to the days of the Say Hey Kid, but DeClerc is not that kind of center field.
Collins.
And a real key for Duke. Does Collins get off to a fast start with his three-point shooting? That's what they're counting on him for.
He's made only 1 out of 13 in the last 3 games from three-point land. Long rebound to Hill. No field goal in this game so far. Trailer is Lang. Time for Duke.
Well, those two guys have played together for 4 years. There's Bobby Hurley. Normally the guy, as I said, would be in the center of that break. Grant Hill doesn't do a bad job himself.
Charge called against Florida. We've seen a lot of dunks at the Final Four by Antonio Lang in his career.
Now, Jim, here's two fellas that are used to playing with each other. The timing was absolutely perfect on the trailer play for Antonio Lang.
Co-captains.
Good step out. Club is really well drilled defensively. And it is Thompson now on Grant Hill, the matchup that I expected.
Capel dumps it inside. Lang hacked on the way up, they say. Dimitri Hill will be whistled for it.
Jim, I think they're going to call it on Cross.
They are. They
tried
did.
to strip, yeah.
Okay. So Cross commits it, and what a difference, Billy. 4 tournament appearances for Florida. 11 Final Fours for the Duke program in history.
Well, remember in 87, 88, and 89, those Dwayne Chintz's teams with Norm Sloan played very well. Lost to Syracuse in the Eastern Regional. They lost to Michigan in 88, and then lost in the opening round to Colorado State in 89.
Put that in perspective, Florida's been to the NCAA tournament 4 times. North Carolina A&T's been 8 times. Tennessee, Chattanooga 6, Furman 6. Programs that you would think wouldn't have as many trips.
Well, the reason for it is obviously Kentucky dominated the league for so long, and there's Dimitri Hill using that body of his, the wide body, and I won't put him in the class with Corliss Williamson as far as a talent and doesn't have the height, but he uses the body to extend the defender, gets off the floor quickly, has soft hands and quick feet for a man that's 270 pounds.
Hauled that one on Lang for reaching in.
Jim, when we say he has stripped down to 270, how about the story about Lon Kruger seeing him for the first time at, what, 350?
Steve Spurrier, the football coach, saw him the first time and thought he had himself a football recruit.
The middle of a line. Not a good pass by Capel.
Cross read it. Good no-look pass. DeClerc too strong. Off Duke.
See that good block out by Cross? Again, realizing he couldn't go over Lang, blocked him out, made it impossible for Lang to capture the rebound. Duke zoning out of bounds.
Parks steals it.
Nobody underneath the basket. Wise play by Capel to hold it outside. Thompson, very good overplay defender.
Parks really wanting it. Hill held him up for a while, and then Parks too strong.
The clerk coming over to double team Cherokee. He's got to recognize that. Somebody had to be open.
Cross, three-pointer. Well, he pulled back out and almost got to shoot a flat-footed three.
Nice Wise play. Dimitri Hill setting a screen, actually occupied two defenders trying to get around that big body. The clerk stepping out again. Seeing some solid man-to-man defense.
Boy, are you?
Yeah. Terrific.
They're all over it.
Yes, sir. They have that philosophy that you play your man. He does not beat you on the dribble. They don't do a lot of helping out until a man makes a penetrating move.
Hill outside. The clerk slaps it up off the glass, and Parks clears it.
The other thing that Florida has is excellent defensive balance. When the shot goes up, tough to break against them, and Duke is not a good fast-breaking team. Again, not a natural point man out there for Duke.
That was pretty pure right there, huh?
Well, Grant Hill just setting him up. Thompson expecting him to drive a little further.
Tough shot, Dimitri Hill at the other end. That last basket by Grant Hill moved him ahead of Jeff Mullins on the all-time scoring list at Duke in the 9th place.
Was with Jeff Mullins this morning at the YMCA Yes Clinic for Kids, doing a great job out at UNC Charlotte. Played in 2 Final Fours for Duke, 63 and 64.
Yeah, Florida has the numbers if they want it. Brown pull up. The clerk, beautiful tip.
Now there was a case where Chris Collins tried to be a rebounder instead of blocking out, as we saw Cross do so wisely before, and DeClercq went right over him. It looks like right now Duke expecting Grant Hill, another good step out, that time by Dimitri Hill.
Three-pointer.
Well, we talked about the total player, and he has not yet started to work on the inside.
The three-point shot is something he only attempted 3 times his first 2 years in college.
That's right.
This year, almost 100.
And again, primarily because he was the finisher on the break and played in the low post.
There's the meat hook.
And not the shot with your Lon Kruger that you really want. They can get a better shot than that, and particularly to employ Brown to get some shots for him, coming off the big game against BC.
Ooh, they had Parks cutting through the lane. DeClercq got a hand on it. DeClercq right over Lang and one.
Referees tell him to calm down a little bit. But DeClercq, with the great speed that we talked about early on, able to finish off on that break.
This is the second on Lang.
Lang was up there, but DeClercq too strong. And Jim, you know, maybe the biggest play for Florida in this entire tournament was something DeClercq did accidentally. He's getting his foot out and blocking and actually having a ball go off his foot again in the JMU game when Dennis Leonard was off to the races potentially to hit a 3 to knock Florida out in the opening round.
That was last possession of the game.
That's
Two-point game.
Get it!
Long rebound to Hill, and now pull up. DeClercq.
Florida giving Duke one and done.
Anderson just in off the glass. That's Jason Anderson, 6'4" sophomore from College Park, Georgia.
Just drops off slightly from what Thompson gives them as a defender. but brings a lot more offense to the table.
Eric Meek, Marty Clark have come in for Duke. Clark, number 3, Meek, 52. And a steal. That's the second time Cross on the cross-court pass has stolen it. And a travel call. Finally, an official's timeout. 12:51 to go, first half. There's been 5 lead changes, but the Gators here for the first time lead it by 2. There for Duke, and the Norwegian Collegian for Florida. Svein Dirkobolten from Bergen, Norway.
And Greg Williams came in during that timeout as well, so Ron Kruger going to his bench early, keeping a fresh team on the floor.
Greg Williams, number 10, manning up now against Capel.
Cherokee Parks being pushed around in there, but Ron Kruger can afford some fouls off the bench in the low post.
They brought in the low post, the other part of that Scandinavian skyline, Marti Kwiesma.
Duke has not had any semblance of a half-court offense so far because Florida's defense has just shut them out. They're 3 for 9 from the floor, but they have not gotten any kind of shots. They've already got 4 turnovers.
Got to beat the shot clock. Hill blocked by Anderson, and they say they got a piece of the arm. Anderson.
Well, I said Anderson gives up a few inches from what Thompson gives him, but he doesn't fall off much defensively. This club, Jim, was number 1 in defense in the SEC this year, 3rd a year ago, and 1st the year before that. So fundamentally, we saw Arkansas how well they can play. This club led their league, the SEC.
Hill, the MVP of the Southeast Regional, and all ACC, but he was 1 vote shy of being unanimous. I would love to know who did not have him first team all ACC.
And obviously All-American as well.
Yeah. How do you not vote him all ACC?
Well, you know, there are some people, you know.
Marty Clark on Anderson.
Nice job defensively. Parks helping out.
So the only starter on the floor is Cross for Florida.
Nice patience by Florida. But now they get the ball with it under 10 to Cross. He's the finisher.
Good shot. That's a 2-pointer.
Then they call him the delegator, and he does that. You'll see him just have a sense when that clock gets down around 10 that the ball is in his hands.
Marty Clark.
Nothing easy against this team.
Capel hit on the hand when he shot it. Count it, +1.
Capel coming off the great game against Purdue. 35 minutes he was in there, 7 for 12, 3 for 3 in threes, 19 points, 7 assists. It's a game of your life as a college freshman.
Since freshmen became eligible in 1973, Billy, no freshman starting point guard has led a team to a national championship, although Bobby Hurley, who we saw in the stands a little while ago, he got all the way to the final as a freshman. And there's Capel's dad, the coach at North Carolina A&T. 3-point play by Capel, puts Duke up 1. To finish that point, Jeff Capel says, I don't feel like a freshman.
Well, they played a lot of games against a lot of quality competition, but he is a freshman. And, of course, one freshman at least got to the Final Four. And here he is sitting right there, Bobby Hurley and his brother Danny, who we're happy to hear will be playing again next year at Seton Hall. Sat out this year.
Bobby, as a freshman, went all the way to the championship game against UNLV.
And certainly remembers that game.
Yep.
Not one of his better days. UNLV was so great.
Williams saved a backcourt violation.
Here we see the step out. He's doing a lot of the same things that Florida does defensively as far as their fundamentals are concerned.
Marty Clark called for reaching in on Kwiesma.
And Jim, so we don't get any calls. There'll probably be somebody, particularly down in this state, that will say, there was a freshman guard that led a team to a national championship, but we were talking about point guards. Exactly.
Point guards.
Of course, we're referring here to the guy that may call in, talking about Michael Jordan. He was just a freshman at the time, back in '82.
Kuzma from Helsinki, Finland. When Ron Kruger first met Kuzma said to him in a little bit of broken English, "I know rebounds."
Well, he also
signed him up.
He also knows shooting. Last year he made 50 of 123 threes, 41%. So he can stroke it from out there, and free throws as well.
Yep, seventh lead change already with the 2 free throws from Kuzma. Banging underneath, they're going to call Kuzma with the body on Parks.
Jim, I like the strategy early for Florida, using Kuzma on the inside with Parks. He can afford the foul. He can afford to bang and wear him on down. And here we see DeClerc coming back in the game. Kuzma did exactly what was expected of him.
DeClerc back in. Also returning is Brown for Williams.
You kind of get the feeling that Lon Kruger is wanting to play this game to keep it as close as he can, as long as he can, and wear Duke down in the meantime.
And have the starters as fresh as possible down the stretch.
He goes zone out of bounds. No passing lanes available.
Capel.
Not exactly soft. You don't see that kind of shot go back in, and who's it going to be against?
We're going to call push off.
Well, we'll see it here. You see this shot go up, Jim. You very seldom see a shot from the side that hits this hard and gets the sweet kiss off the backboard.
That was a call against Florida's Anderson underneath. I think Duke had resigned itself to the fact the whistle was against them.
Well,
and they were retreating back to get on defense.
You know, the only guy that seemed to have a handle on all of that was Capel. There's the freshman again. Well, we certainly didn't see it, but one of the officials did, and that's Anderson's second.
And that's Florida's 7th, so it's a 1-and-1 for Eric Meek.
And Jim, the old trademark from Duke starting to take place early in this game. So far in the tournament, they have shot 107 free throws. The opponents have shot only 54. So they've doubled the output. They've made 78. Imagine this, Duke in 4 games has made 78 free throws. Their opponents have only shot 54. They're getting the line often and early already here today.
That is the 9th attempt already for Duke in the game's first 9.5 minutes.
Back to the original starting lineup is Florida.
Cross three-pointer. Boy, he's on early.
Perfect rotation on the shot. Clark did not get out there. He's too dangerous a scorer to leave that wide open.
DeClerc reaches around, makes the steal.
Grant Hill gave that away, kind of telegraphed the pass.
Brown.
Nice foul, too. Didn't get the shot.
He
nice
thought
foul.
he'd made it. DeClerc, 2-pointer inside the arc. What a motion he plays with.
Right now, Florida getting better shots at the basket than is Duke.
Florida back in front. Grant Hill. Someone got a piece of him.
I think Grant Hill is way beyond his years in terms of his ability to draw the foul. As soon as he felt the contact, he let the ball go. It was almost incidental, but he drew a 2-shotter here.
Brian Thompson's second. It'll be a 1-and-1 for Hill. Part of that senior success with Lang and Clark. 17-1 record they've amassed in the NCAA.
Well, Jim, think about something here. The 3 seniors have a chance to do something. You have to go way back to Larry Farmer.
Last guy to win 3 national championships,
right?
71 through 73.
Correct. 1973, and people think, maybe, well, how about Walton? Well, he didn't play as a freshman. He was defeated as a senior. And Kareem, who we saw earlier watching the ball game, of course, not only was involved in 3 championships, but 3 times the MVP. Playing way out on Cross. Cross will take Collins if he's that far away.
Cross. Three-pointer too strong. Here's Brown. Dumps it to Dimitri Hill.
Nice teamwork.
We've already had 9 lead changes in this game.
Grant Hill will have a hard time beating a guy like Brown that far away from the basket. He has not been able to post up low yet today.
Cherokee turnaround.
Dimitri Hill will not try to block that shot. Just play for position.
He got it around. Dimitri makes it home. Had a little soft.
Oh, that was a beautiful
action
shot
on that, huh?
Not only did he have good deployment on the low post, but he realized Grant Hill was coming across and still got it up.
Grant Hill at the other end.
That may be his favorite shot. Driving it to the foul line, pulling up for the jumper.
Back and forth we go. 11 lead changes.
You see Cross, he straddled across the lane. He was actually putting his good ear to Lon Kruger so he could hear what he was saying and still beat the 10-second count. Boy, he rubs off Hill. He'll set some screen, doesn't he?
You're not going to move him around too much.
There they double down on Hill.
Duke got a piece of it. Marty Clark off to the races.
Clark can go up there.
Yeah, he does, just like he did in the East Regional. A mighty swat into the stands.
On that one, he had perfect timing and plenty of space to do it. In the Eastern Regional against Howard Isley, he chased him down from 8 feet. Wiped that across the lane.
Officials, timeout. Billy,
Jim,
you think this was Goldsmith?
Yes, I do, Jim, and I'll tell you why. If any portion of the ball is in the cylinder when it's touched, and there the ball, a portion is in the cylinder and it's touched, that should have been 2 points. But still, a great hustle move on DeClerc's part. The officials didn't see it that way, so Duke will have it.
Clark short on the baseliner. He's looking around. He says, I got hit with the body.
Well, and a body.
Collins launches it.
Collins 0 for 2 from 3. Critical for Duke. When you get a wide open shot from a man who's got that assignment, he's got to bury it.
Here it is.
How about that?
4 games, 1 of 15 now.
Somebody's open.
And there he is.
It had to be open because you had 2 men on 1.
The clerk travels.
And Thompson, as we said, not a big offensive performer. He had a stretch where he went 8 games without scoring. But he gives you the defense. I'm really surprised that they haven't put Hill down in the low post and try to feed him down there with Brown on him.
Marty Clark drains a 3-pointer.
Jim, Clark has been totally ineffective down the stretch here in the NCAA tournament. Did not score in the last 2 games.
Collins almost got the steal. Cross lays it up and draws the fouls. 2-shot situation. That foul called, I believe, on Lang. And that's number 3 if it is on Lang.
Lang's going out, and Jim, Duke is going to a 3 guards. Well, Marty Clark can move up to play it forward, but the 3 C's are now in the game, and we talked about how important they are to Duke. For somebody to step up out of that group, neither as a unit or individually having the big game.
That was the 3rd on Lang, so he's out. And Dimitri Hill replaced by Spain Dirkeboulten.
Game very much as anticipated. The game would probably be played in the low 60s. Neither team gives up many easy baskets.
Cross from Illinois actually shot some hoops, just practicing with Chris Collins of Duke there in the summer.
Yeah, they talked to each other on the phone about getting to the Final Four possibly. They matched up some. There's where I thought Grant Hill would operate, down and low. 3rd time today.
Steal by Thompson this time. Thompson to the rack, and Clark got him on the arm.
Oh, they called this intentional. That's ridiculous.
That'll be two shots.
Marty Clark went for the block.
2 shots plus possession for Florida.
You see him going directly up here for the block, makes a very nice attempt for the block.
Got a lot of the ball, too.
Sure, this is a terrific play. No business calling that an intentional foul, not even close. Watch this right here. Almost makes a great block.
Thompson will shoot a couple, and Florida will bring it in.
Tim Thompson, just a 47% free throw shooter. Gets one.
Florida 5 out of 10 from the line.
So you have an interesting situation. The Clerk blocks one down at the other end, very similar, gets a clean block, and not only does Duke not get a clean block out of it, they end up getting an intentional foul call.
Clark was involved in both plays. Here's Thompson. Beautiful pass.
Backdoor cut. The Clerk, with that 6'10" height, went right over the top of the defense. Florida on a nice run.
They tied it at 29.
You see where you have Grant Hill now down in the low box, but the Clerk's guarding him, and he really has an advantage there, so Grant takes him outside.
Grant Hill. Oh, against the Grant Hill, they call it.
Takes the basket away.
No basket.
And the foul. You see, Grant Hill beats the Clerk. Dirk Bolton comes over.
Say the ball left his hand, Billy, before the contact.
You'll see it right here. There's the crossover dribble by Grant Hill. Dirk Bolton comes over. The good bounce off the glass for Grant Hill. He asks for the basket, and it gets wiped out.
Eric Meek in for Duke.
Solid screen for Brown. He could have taken advantage of it. Dirk Bolton using a big body in there.
Thompson underneath, travel.
Nice job by Meek to come over. We're seeing both teams employing excellent help defense.
Say, Craig Brown, who has been so outstanding in this tournament for Florida, the MVP of the East Regional, he has not scored, but the Gators are tied at 29.
Now he's being guarded by Grant Hill, who held Glenn Robinson to 13, so that's not totally surprising. Last year's IBO Award winner, the best defensive player in the country. Interesting the way Florida changes who's guarding Grant Hill. He hasn't been able to get into a rhythm offensively.
Hill, Meek on the follow. Taylor was a hand in the net, and it's going to belong to Florida.
The net is still up in the rim. That's okay to get it in the net as long as the ball is not in the basket. We'll fix the net, I would hope. I hope that's the referee said. Jim, there was a case where Eric Meek had an opportunity to catch the ball with two hands, put it back up on the glass. He made a difficult play out of an easy one. Game's being called very tight now on the inside.
Push-off call against de Klerk, his second. And in for the Gators, Dimitri Hill, along with Marti Kuzma.
See the plays on the inside, setting good screens. De Klerk moving well when he wrapped his hands around the backside, but that's kind of a touch foul. De Klerk very disappointed with it, and probably well should be.
Meek will go to the line to shoot a 1-and-1. Florida over 50%. Look at this, 7 ties, 14 lead changes. Duke's biggest lead was 4. Florida's largest lead, 2. 1-and-1. Meek earns another one.
Jim, that field goal shooting percentage, Michigan State, although they lost to Duke by 9, shot 58% from the floor against Duke. Of course, a big difference in free throw shooting. Duke with 25 to 33 for the foul line, and once again, that's the way that they stay in a lot of games.
Anderson has returned to the Florida lineup. .430 remaining in the first half. The winner plays Arkansas Monday night for the national championship.
There's that matchup you talked about. Hill on Brown.
Whoops, little miscommunication there. Kuzma with Anderson cutting to the basket. And a turnover, the 9th turnover against Florida.
Although Lon Kruger has not taken Florida to this position in the NCAA tournament, he took Kansas State to a regional final back in '88. And that Kansas State club lost to Kansas and Danny Manning. Team that eventually went on to win the national championship. Good hands by Florida.
Brown, though, from behind has it taken away by Capel. Right back in total chaos from the Gators with Anderson inside.
How often does a coach say to a player on a loose ball, pick it up, don't try to make a play? That's what Meek tried to do. Florida turned it over on him.
Doubled up.
Great double down by Brown.
Called for traveling. Go to the officials' timeout.
Seven every once in a while. Here are 7 touches of the ball. Nobody gets it. Brown slapped away. Meeks slapped away. Meeks slapped away. Boom. Pass inside. A finish. Florida comes up with 2 and puts themselves in the lead by 1.
Florida has 7 steals, Billy. This kid right here has a couple of them. In fact, he has the all-time Florida season mark with 74 coming into this game. Dan Cross.
Well, Jim, we've seen Florida on 4 occasions on a cross-court pass make a steal. That's one of the things that got him here. You just can't go ahead and take that chance. These fellows anticipate too well.
Capel reached in to strip it.
Somebody has blood on their arm? Yep.
Meek.
Referee's got some good eyes to see that. Blood on the knee.
They'll bring Newton. Yeah, Greg Newton in, the freshman from Niagara Falls, Ontario.
Recruited as one of the top players to come out of Canada, maybe ever. Has seen limited playing time this year, needs to probably develop his strength, but he'll certainly be a factor at Duke in years to come. Very aggressive young player.
Hold called on Newton.
Pretty tough to take the ball away from those hands. He has that odd combination of soft hands and yet strong hands. And as I said, Corliss Williamson is a better player, but they both possess an unusual ability for men that size and that strong to have quick feet and soft hands.
Dimitri shooting a 1-and-1. He says he likes Charles Barkley's attitude on the court. He isn't afraid of anything. He's an intimidator. And I tell you, this size.
Well, to give you an example, Jim, we talked about the way he plays this game. He only has 5 block shots in the year. I mean, here's a center with a #1 defensive team in the SEC with 5 block shots. He's a position defender.
He's given Florida its largest lead, a 3-point lead with 3 minutes to go first half.
How about Brown looking for help behind?
Capel with the left hand. And there's Hill with the rebound. Anderson will pull it back out instead of challenging Grant Hill. Kuzma in the lane.
No, that's not going to work against the Florida club. They're too sound defensively.
Ross.
Oh, the referee never saw the play. It was goaltend that time, so I guess it's all fair now.
Collins, three-pointer. Park saves it. Beautiful save. And they snap it over to Hill on the other side.
He wants some of Hill. Newton. Second foul on Newton in a hurry. Jim, I think what happened to the official here, nobody expected Grant Hill to get a piece of this. He goes up, ball on the way down. Referee is ridden right out of bounds. That ball's on the way down. See, it hit the board on the way down. But Grant Hill is unbelievable. We have seen him, remember, as a freshman in the Kansas game, that incredible dunk that he made?
Started the game that way. Over the top of the backboard, down in one motion. Voted in Blue Devil Weekly the all-time dunk in Duke history.
I guess that shows you the degree of Blue Devil weakling. Florida now increasing that lead, got a chance to go up 5.
People wondered how a team and a coach who hadn't been in the Final Four would handle it. They don't seem at all intimidated by the moment.
Well, I think that's because of the quality of the league that they played in. When you look at their team this year, they lost at Arkansas 87-99. They lost to Kentucky twice. They beat Kentucky once. Good wins over Texas and Oklahoma State. And then, of course, their great run here in the NCAA tournament.
Hart on the pass from Hill. Cut into a Florida 5-point lead to reduce it to 3.
Cross really taking advantage of that high screen.
Capel on the wing, 3-pointer to tie. Long rebound to the Gators.
The long rebounds are all going to the Gators. They're beating Duke to the spot. Brown really respected Grant Hill defense. I mean, he's not even trying to challenge him when he gets the ball.
Anderson quickly to the basket. Boy, he got right by Capel. He has 6 off the bench.
Cougar getting great minutes out of Kuzma and Dirkabolten here in this first half.
Capel.
Nothing falling for Duke. Nice run for Florida.
Dirkabolten brings down the rebound. Now trying to increase the lead. And going to the line will be Anderson. He's given them some valuable time off the bench.
He really has, Jim. Great eye contact that time between Cross and Anderson. Cross saw him much earlier than this, and Anderson didn't go for the lob. So Anderson kept moving without the ball, knowing Cross would eventually get him. Good two-man basketball.
For Meek, his first 2 shots for Jason Anderson.
Well, Lon Kruger says this is the best athlete he's got on the club. He's had 10 double-figure scoring games, so although he's not a starter, he certainly offensively plays like one.
Well, he'll always remember his first free throw at the Final Four.
Now, he's laughing on that one. He can't believe it.
He looks back, and Greg Brown says, hey, that's okay. A little word of encouragement. Sophomore back to the line for one more. Guarantee that one gets perfect. Bring back in Brian Thompson.
So they give up a little offense, but they bring back Thompson for the last minute to play defense. And defense has been the name of the game during this run for Florida.
Florida's largest lead of the game now, 6 points. Capel, yeah, Thompson all over him. They're beautifully defending him.
Exactly. They're giving Duke nothing but tough shots, and with Grant Hill having to play out on the point, he's getting nothing down in the low box. Duke is going to probably have to change their strategy to figure out how to get Grant Hill the ball low.
6 seconds difference on the shot clock to the game clock.
And with Cross out of the game, and that's who they'd like to have the ball right now, but it won't be him. Maybe Brown?
Well, Williams looking around.
They're trying to find Brown. Here he comes.
Thompson. Kuzma gets the rebound. They'll get the last shot of the half.
Kuzma's had a great first half.
Williams finds Thompson slicing in. And he was fouled. Will shoot 2.
Jim, Florida getting great play off the bench. Williams, Jason Anderson, Kuzma doing a terrific job.
Capel with his second. 2.2 seconds to go first half. They held their spring football game down in Gainesville today, and as Craig Brown says, we might have been known for our football teams in the past, but now I think people realize we play a little basketball here too, and for everyone who hadn't seen them until today, the nation knows it now. They have a 7-point lead. Duke will get picked off here before the half on that pass. Brown, they say, nope, we're going to count it anyway. Duke made only 2 of its last 12 from the field, and the Cinderella Florida Gators have a 7-point lead at the intermission. CBS Sports exclusive coverage of the NCAA basketball tournament will continue after this message and a word from your local station.
CBS Sports coverage of the 1994 NCAA Basketball National Semifinal game is sponsored by Pizza Hut, who reminds you that any time's a great time to stop and smell the pizza. The people at Nike, who encourage you to just do it. And by AT&T, we help put your world within...
Kentucky coach Rick Pitino, and Duke has his hands full.
No question about it, Pat. I think America now sees what Florida's all about. What you witnessed with Florida probably is the best foul line to basket defense in America today.
Rick, I guess let's quantify what that means. Florida has a tendency to make you play ugly. Duke only 36% from the field in the first half, 11 turnovers.
11 turnovers. Florida has a very experienced backcourt, but